I was just here thinking. I know I'm talking kind of strange because there is a lingo of the South where I used to live, where I was born and raised until I was in the 8th grade. Part of the 7th grade, I was in Utah also. But North Carolina, I had a very strong Southern accent when we left there. I had to work really hard to let go of it, but I still have part of it. And slang is a big part of me anyway. This is Lou, and it's Sunday evening, the 15th, 10 days from Christmas Day. I'll be traveling that day. I'll be like in a sleigh, the present that's coming. She's just going to be delivered late. You got to come pick her up. Anyway, I'm glad I get to go. I'm going to my daughter's house. I get to see my daughter and my grandkids. Except for one. I'm not sure when he'll be around. But Kevin, my younger grandson, is in the Army. And I'm just thinking he might be in Oklahoma somewhere, but I really don't know where he's at. Yeah, you guys, you're growing up. Even though you're 18 and older and you're going on down the road, you're not growing up, and it scares me. We all have to go through things, I guess. All I know is he's going to be a magnificent person one day, and he still is. I mean, he is, but he's growing. He's a kid. Kids still got a lot of things to put on besides their clothes. They're putting on experience. I don't like war. And I know that's a stupid statement, really, but I do think sometimes people do like war. Try to get you over here. I need to remember that I need to be looking at you. And I need to not have a tangent. I'm proud of him. He's going to be a medic. Unless things have changed, that's what he was setting out to do. I believe he signed up for 4 years, and he's going to be a medic. But then someone said that puts him at the front lines. It gives me a headache just thinking about it. Anyway, so I'll get over off of that. I am proud of him. He's going to do great things. But war, I'm sure, scars people. We don't know what's coming, or do we? If you've been keeping track of things, I'm not talking about these days because I'm not keeping track. I should be. I guess I should be. Boy, I tell you what, when I would go visit Mom and Dad, things were going on with, started to say Iraq. I'm not sure if it was, but the towers, the Twin Towers, and then all of a sudden all there is on TV is war stuff, and we're moving in, and they're taking pictures of every little step. We're moving in. It was a slow move in, okay? There are certain people making money off of war, okay? And sometimes they are the ones pulling the shots out there, telling people what to do. When I said hierarchy, I don't know if I'm saying the word right, but I kind of got a feeling I am. Higher up the level, you got your little armies, and they spread out, and they spread out, and they spread out. That web. The church is like that. I mean, we are geographical everywhere. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And our armed services are pretty cool if we didn't have to use them. And if they maybe could be here on our earth, you know, exchange. Let the other people go back to where they came from. Let our people come back home. And let's start anew, trying to figure out something different than what we got going on. It's a mess. And I don't like it. I am proud of our boys and girls. I just don't want to see them go over there and get maimed, get their heads, I'm talking about their thought processes, get them all messed up so that the rest of their life they have trauma. No, am I painting a pretty picture? I'm sorry. Okay. I got on here to I don't know what I got on here for, except for to talk to you guys, and I want to read Matthew 26. From what I see, I've only got 3 chapters to go. 26, 27, 28. So bad things are happening. They're fixing to happen. I'm not necessarily liking reading stuff like that. It might hurt. I don't know. Matthew is pretty detail-oriented, so I don't know what his account's going to be like, because I really haven't read it. I've only read parts of it, studying through the years, because like I've said before, they have manuals. They have manuals that they teach lessons out of, and they have scriptures in there so that you can go out and search. You go search these things, and you have different people in the class read it, just a little verse, and then you discuss it a little bit. So that would be like a Sunday school lesson. I mean, I never know where I'm going to go, but at least the manual kind of keeps you outlined, okay? It has a path for you to take, and then it's got scriptures for you to go look up, and there's some stuff written about it. So if you really wanted to study, there's wonderful study guides in these manuals. And I have 3, because they have a different one each year. And if you went back to where I live in Colorado, I've got probably a whole bunch more. I've got a shed full of stuff. I had 2 storage units, 50 foot long, full of stuff, but they're not there anymore. After over 10 years of paying on them, I decided I didn't want to do that anymore, because I couldn't see we weren't going to ever go get my stuff. It's just the way it was. I could see it. I mean, you've gone that long paying storage on something. And like my daughter said once, she says, gone that long without it, you surely don't need it. Well, I had some nice stuff in there. But anyway. I blessed a bunch of people, because in the end I walked away from it and they sold all my stuff too. I think they probably sold some stuff online, but they had an open container sale, I guess. It wasn't really a container, was it? 50-foot storage locker, 2 of them. We had some interesting things there. Anyway, it certainly was not a funny situation. None of it. I've said it before. Thank God that Jesus is going to be our judge. I mean, he's going to have judges under him. I don't know how that works, because he's supposed to be the judge. Like, maybe not St. Peter at the Golden Gate, but Jesus Christ. I'm not sure. Okay? These are thoughts, and a lot of my thoughts are true. I come to find out when I read about it. Oh yeah, huh? And I don't know what I'm talking about at the moment, but I've seen it a bunch, where I've been talking about stuff, and then pretty soon there I am reading it. I find that quite interesting. When sometimes I say, how apropos. What was I talking about? I was just barely after midnight last night. In fact, I got on there about midnight. When I started my video, it was 3. minutes after midnight. So what's the point of that? I was saying that's the bewitching hour. I mean, in my head I say that. Okay. But then I was just thinking about High Spirits. Have you guys seen that? High Spirits. Daryl Hannah, is that her name? I think that's her name. She's blonde, got long blonde hair. I gotta quit rocking. That's a cute show. If you haven't seen it, it's an old one. I don't know how old. Wow, way old. High Spirits, people. It's about the same time as Willow came out. Those are two really great movies, okay? Silly but great. High Spirits. I forget who else was in that. Yes, it did. It was funny. It was it was cute. I just remember the part. You just have to watch it, okay, you people? Try to find High Spirits. And if you've never seen Willow, you need to watch Willow. Oh, me. I have to moan and groan every once in a while. So, can you guys see that picture up there? I know, you can't really tell what it is, right? But if you've been following me very long, or a little while, you would know. This picture was taken in 1910. You see, so part of it's cut off right now because I pulled you close. But all along right here, from here all the way down, are these old cars. So if you got any way to make that screen bigger right there, you'll see some old jalopies. Because the picture was taken in 1910. So only brand new cars would be in 1910, you know? So I bet you they're like for the 10 years before that. Anyway, it's really sweet. I could make it so you could see it better. Right there. Right there. Okay, so down here, right down in here, that whole thing is lined up with cars. And that's Temple Square in 1910. And the parking lot's full. Trip. I'm not exactly sure of all my facts, so I can't say. That's the tabernacle up there. You can see the dome of it. So I think, I'm not sure. I really am not sure. Okay. Because around the block, okay, is Temple Square. And then you go out away from Temple Square. And across the road, somewhere, maybe over here. Or maybe over there. There's a road. But they bought the whole road. Okay? They owned it anyway. Church owns everything anyway. We started it. But anyway, they paid for the road, okay? And then they made the road into a big old park in between the Joseph Smith building. And that used to be a hotel. I don't know what it was called, but it was a hotel. So the Joseph Smith building is office buildings, and all kinds of things are going on in there, not just offices. Mom and Dad's, I'm pretty sure what they did on their mission was done in that building, too. Which what they did was they put in data from Ellis Island. I'm going to pull this back around. From Ellis Island, all those people, so they were putting names and data into the computer. I don't know how they could have done that. Because they had a hard time staying awake. Dad did. And I know how hard it is. You keep double checking and triple checking your work. What a headache. But I'm just saying that from my own experience. I'm going to put the temple back there. That's where Mother and Father were sealed in the temple, and where me and my brother were sealed to them in the temple. It's right there. Right up there on that wall, anyway. That big old building. It's been going under, what is it? It's been going under refurbishment. Quite a big deal, I think. Not really sure. But these temples are made to last 1,000 years. But they do go in and do updates and stuff. Technology. And to do a foundation. Making sure, because they do have earthquakes there, making sure to not lose the temple in an earthquake. But it's got to last throughout the millennium. And so I wonder if that gives us a clue. 1,000 years. I was talking about God's time the other day on one of my videos. And his time is, one day of his time is 1,000 of our years. Okay? So then you put that into your little calculator, which I can't do. So, he created the earth in 7 days. Maybe that's 7,000 years. I don't know if that gives us a clue. It's too much for my little head. But I'm thinking, when he's gonna create the earth, the earth's not there yet. So the earth doesn't have a time yet. So he's talking about his own time. So on the first day he did this. Well, maybe that was the whole 1,000 years. And the second day was the next 1,000 years. And so on and so on until they got to the end where then they created Adam and Eve. At the end. I'm not sure how that was, but I'm sure that was. They were creating actually in the beginning, what did they say? It was void. There was nothing there. It was void. And then, what was it? It separated the darkness from the light. I bet you anything that's in, maybe that's in Abraham. I read to you guys Moses, which is in the Pearl of Great Price. And there's some really, really, really good stuff in there. You'd be amazed, people. Okay, especially if you don't know anything about it. The creation. Okay, I gotta fix that. The creation is in there, okay? But still, that's something to think about. God's time, because Earth didn't even have time at that time. I don't know, I gotta quit being so silly. But it is true. Something to think about. There's some interesting things. And when you put it together, I don't know. Don't even know how to say what I'm talking about. But I bet maybe we should read Abraham. I'm going to read Matthew 26, okay? But I'm telling you, I'm not going to like what's coming next. I think it'll be okay in 26. And I guess we're still going to have to, because I want his account of what's going to happen. Like I said, Matthew is a stickler for details. And so he's going to be telling us some stuff that I would like to know. And, being him and being the way he is, he's definitely going to be different from the other 3 accounts, okay? Because there's all 4 different people, for one thing. and he sees things differently. I don't know if you've listened to my other ones, but in The Chosen, they portray him as I don't know that autistic would be a word to use for him, but he had some disorders, or he had some. Um, I don't know how to say what I want to say, but idiosyncrasies. That's how I said it earlier. Don't take offense, okay? Idio. I told you about root words. Idiot. Idiosyncrasies. Things aren't syncing just right. Are you guys understanding me? I know I'm weird, but I understand it. Things are not just working quite right. However, this man was a genius, okay? This is the thing that a lot of people don't realize is there's a really fine line. Very smart in some things. Okay, so anyway, according to The Chosen, that's how I'm going to say it, because I haven't read it yet. Matthew was really good with math, and he could decipher, he could figure things out real easy, real fast. And he was working for I'll just say the government, whoever is taking the taxes from the people. He was a tax man, okay? So people would go up to his window and give him money, and he would be gathering it up for the whoever's. I don't know if it was the Egyptians or if it was the Romans or who was getting the money, okay? The banker. We'll just call him the banker, like today. We got the bankers going on. Okay, so I was going to read to you, but I was talking about Abraham. So why did I start talking about Abraham? And so for Abraham is, Abraham's the father of the tribes. The lost tribes and the other tribes. There's 12 tribes of Israel, okay? And 10 of them are lost. And then I don't know everything, but there's like either Judea is a place, and Judah is a tribe. There's the 12 tribes, okay? They come from brothers. They're all brothers. So they're not all brothers. 2 of them are different than the others. And I'm almost thinking, see, I might get my stories mixed up. I'm almost thinking that those were the 2 boys born of the woman that he loved so much. But she couldn't have children. In the beginning, she couldn't have children. In fact, she had hers at a really old age, I think. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to read about that too. The 12 tribes of Israel. Very important. So before Jesus comes again, the lost 10 tribes of Israel are going to come back. They're going to be coming from a land northward. Don't know where that is. Somewhere northward. And there's theory that maybe they went north and went down into the earth. I don't know. Kind of like the Genesis effect on Star Trek. And it was the Wrath of Khan. Any of you that heard that when I was talking about that before? Couldn't remember what movie it was. That the Genesis effect. I'm giving it that name, but it was Genesis. They did something where they created a world, an earth, inside the earth or something. They went to a barren area. Maybe it was a star. See, I don't know. But they did something that created life, land, tropical, everything. And it was like in a matter of seconds, it was just going crazy. It was wonderful. Now, Khan, he wasn't so wonderful. The Wrath of Khan. That's the name of the movie. I'll have to watch that. I haven't thought about that in a long time. I used to really like Star Trek. so I probably still would. And now I did. I was rebellious when Star Trek quit and they came out with a new one, like The Next Generation. I wouldn't give it the time of day. I was mad. But it turns out that was a pretty good show. So we shouldn't do that. We might find that we'll like something. So I was going to get on here and read Matthew 26. And what was I thinking about Abraham? Okay. I really don't know what I was thinking about Abraham, except for that maybe we ought to read it. There's not very many chapters, I don't think. And I'm pretty sure I read all of Moses on here. In the Pearl of Great Price, the book of Abraham and the book of Moses are there. And in the book of Moses, it talks about, what's that guy? I'm not going to remember his name. He's somebody that we hear about, but then I don't think it's in the Old Testament, but maybe it is. It's in the book of Moses, though, so maybe it is. He's the one, it'll come to me in a minute. He is the one that was so good that God took him and his people. It wasn't just him that was so good. They lived the law of consecration. They took the city up into heaven. And it's coming back. It's going to come back down here in the end and be, I believe it's going to be the New Jerusalem. I'm a little confused about that because we have an old Jerusalem, which could be the New Jerusalem. So maybe it'll go over there. But there's going to be, it could go over there and then they could build the one here at Jackson County. There's going to be, I thought there was going to be 3 headquarters of the church in the millennium. But my dad said 2. So, I don't know. I'm not going to say that my dad is correct. He might be. But I could have swore when I was in seminary that I was taught. Sometimes you just got this knowledge and you don't exactly know where you got it from. But I know that I studied all my life as I was at home with mom and dad, and as some when I was married, but not a lot, because that just wasn't their thing. And so, like, even when I wasn't going to church, though, I was still reading the scriptures. I had a thirst for it. I don't know if you guys know what I mean. In other words, there's things you want to know, and you might find them out. And that cat has just destroyed the end of that box. So today is the 15th. 10 days from now, I'll be getting on a plane. Wow. I can't imagine, but I better get busy. I know that. It is the perfect way if you don't have very much to move around, Southwest, the ticket was more, but they are more comfortable. I usually go Frontier because I can get a really cheap ticket. If I hadn't had a treatment to take on the very same day, I could have had an $80 ticket to go to Philadelphia. However, that's a bare bones ticket. That means you don't do any adding on of anything. And I've got a bag that I bought specific. I've got the exact measurements that you can have that'll go underneath the seat. And so at least I can go and I can pack. I could be gone for 2 or 3 weeks more. Because you can do laundry. Just add your laundry to their laundry. I don't have much laundry. So anyway, the point is, I find myself not using the stuff that's in the suitcase. I usually overpack anyway. So you don't have to be But then if you're, what I started out with is though I'm like moving there. So what I'll have, okay, so with the Southwest, you get 2 checked bags for free, 50 pounds each. Clothes are heavy. Oh my God. But anything is heavy. I don't know. I've got books. I've got so many books I want to keep. Not that I'd read them. So that's the thing. But what I should do is sell them. But also, Philip said he might be interested in some of them. But I got a lot of books from Mom and Dad because I didn't figure anybody else was going to be wanting them, you know. And I started to tell you guys about him the other day, and I haven't read it yet. I bought my mother 4 books. Porter Rockwell. Porter Rockwell was Joseph Smith's bodyguard. I don't know nothing. I don't know very much about him, but that's what I wanted to find out. I bought him for Mother. She was a reader. She was really reading up a storm, and she loved to read. So when you're getting presents, whether it's their birthday or Christmas or whatever. So I bought them for her, but I also bought them for her, knowing they're coming back to me. So I've got these 4 volumes of Porter Rockwell. I want to find out about all that stuff, but I don't know if I do or not, because then I'm going to hear bad things. Meaning, they really went after Joseph Smith. That's why he had to have a bodyguard, I guess. I don't know if everybody knows he had a bodyguard. Plus, he told his bodyguard not to cut his hair, I think. Kind of like Samson. Don't cut your hair. It's where your strength is. All I know is here I sit. I emptied that dresser, kind of, sort of. And I started going through boxes and discovered they were all books. I'm going, oh my. So I need to figure out where they're going and the right place for them to go. And then there's still stuff I want to keep. Because I've got the scriptures on CD. I don't know if they still have CD players. I bet they do. Anyway. I don't know. They might just put me to sleep. Just like when I'm trying to read it and understand it, sometimes it just puts me right to sleep. So, how far are we? Oh, 33. You know what? I'm going to say goodbye, okay? In just a couple seconds. I'm coming back.